Welcome back. Former Florida Governor Jeb Bush is drawing criticism from some on the right who question his conservative credentials. This as he resigns all board memberships ahead of what appears to be an increasingly likely presidential run. Here's more from One America's Amanda House, who spoke with anti-tax advocate Grover Norquist.
Anti-tax hawk Grover Norquist is calling out former Governor Jeb Bush for refusing to pledge not to raise taxes.
Jeb Bush has said, I'll raise taxes if I want to, and I'm not making any promises to people.
For years, Norquist has been putting Republicans to the test on taxes, pushing those seeking office to sign a no new tax pledge, a pledge promising to oppose all tax increases. Other possible 2016 contenders, including Rand Paul, Marco Rubio, Bobby Jindal, and Rick Perry, have already signed. In 2012, Bush responded to why he hadn't signed, saying, quote, "I don't believe you outsource your principles and convictions to people." For Norquist, this says a lot about Bush's thinking.
He owes the American people nothing in terms of promising them not to raise their taxes. And if my father had thrown away a perfectly good presidency, as Jeb Bush's father did, by raising taxes and breaking his commitment not to raise taxes, I would have learned, don't raise taxes. Respect the American people. Jeb Bush's answer is, I don't respect the American people. I won't make this commitment to them. I'll raise their taxes if I feel like it, and I don't need to ask their permission to raise taxes. I'm going to be the boss.
Norquist says with so much overspending in Washington, if raising taxes is on the table, reform will never happen. That's because politicians can always use taxes to paper over the problems.
So a political politician who says, I won't make that pledge, I won't promise to the American people that I won't raise their taxes, has just said, I don't have the courage or the capacity or the ability to take on the spending interests in Washington and reform government. I'd rather mug the taxpayers than the special interests that spend money in D.C.
Norquist warns voters should be wary of candidates unwilling to share their plans with the public.
If you don't have the courage to put that out there, you really have to ask, well, why? What is it you plan to do that you're not willing to write down and show the American people? For the Democrats, that was Obamacare. We'll tell you about it, but we won't show it to you until after we get elected. That's not the way to run in the modern American republic. You treat the American people with respect, which Obama and the Democrats didn't do. You tell them ahead of time, here's what I want to do. If you have a big idea, write it down. If Bush plans to raise taxes, write it down. What are you talking about? Write down what you're talking about. Don't tell people it's a secret. That's not treating people with respect.
While Bush isn't expected to sign the pledge now or present his budget plans in writing for that matter, his record as governor does show him to be a tax cutter. In office from 1999 to 2007, Bush cut more than $19 billion in taxes, with cuts every year. Norquist says this was a different time back then, and Bush is now going to find it hard competing with other expected Republican candidates, governors like Chris Christie and Scott Walker, who have their accomplishments today to stand on. Amanda House, One America News, Washington.